It's the top of the hour, and of course, it is a meaningful, mindful, mountain moving mindset Monday. And on this time, we get to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and what time it is where you're joining me from. We'll always have to take into account that we're living in a cyber world. These days, people connect with each other from the different corners of the world. And so it could be anytime where you are. But if you happen to be in the same time zone as myself, then I get to say to you, good afternoon, good people. My name is Zoli Swacheche, and I welcome you to Mindset Monday, the very first one for the year 2021. As I said, my name is Zoli Swacheche. I am a transformation life coach, an inspirational speaker, and a published author of these. I always get asked, published author of what? Of these two books, I Serve, and the newly released one. Let me put it on this side. Beauty in a Shitty Life, Looking Through a Clean Lens. And when I come to this platform, as I always say, I'm just your sister having a conversation with you over a glass of water, like I have mine here. This is where we talk about anything and everything that is mindset related. So you don't need to have a membership card. It is an open conversation. All you need to do is to announce your presence by really being decent enough to comment, to like, to agree, to disagree, to come up with your points of view, because that is how we grow together. And so today we get to talk about a topic that says, do your part. And really, it was sparked by a conversation that I had with someone at the beginning of this day, earlier this morning. So just to make sure, I had a little bit of a technical glitch at the beginning. And if you can just indicate that you could hear me by way of saying something on the comments field, I would appreciate that, so that I don't carry on and on, all to find that I am not audible to anyone. I'm not speaking to anyone out there. So as I was saying, the conversation the topic was sparked by a conversation that I was having with someone. And it really had to do with how difficult the year 2020 has been. And it doesn't matter how successful a certain aspect of one's life has been, because there were opportunities that became available in a very controversial way, but that have led to people finding themselves in a space where they didn't expect, a favorable space that they didn't expect at the beginning of the year, because they did not plan accordingly. But a number of people, when they look at the different aspects of their lives, it has really been a very difficult year. Very difficult, particularly because many of us have lost loved ones. We've lost someone that we know, or we ourselves have gone through the space of being sick at some point, and we came out of it. For those of us that are able to watch this, because I want to believe if you are able to watch it, you're alive. And the question then is, what do you do when you find yourself in a situation of this nature? What do you really do? Because it's hard. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you feel, I wish I could do away with this year and let us see 2020 coming, because this appears to be a continuation of the 2020. Let's see 2022, because this year appears to be, it is just a continuation. That big hullabaloo about the resolutions, the New Year's, Happy New Year, compliments of the New Year. I don't know if you have experienced it, but I didn't experience a lot of that. So it has been a different environment for me, being this time of the year where we usually just sit back, we relax, and we allow ourselves to start a new it's just a new chapter, which enables us to take stock of what is going on in different aspects of our lives. So I'm saying today, I would like to introduce the concept of doing your part. Do your part. That is all really that is expected of you in different ways. And I want to believe that this is going to be the shortest, more like a trailer, really. It's the beginning of the year. It's going to be the shortest video that I have ever made on Mindset Monday. I believe that that is going to be the case. Do your part, but what does this doing your part really entail? In the conversation that I was having with this friend this morning, we got to talk about the difference between influence and control. Saying that we have no control over the external circumstances as we see them in different aspects of our lives. And we can't be control freaks because that does not add any value in who we are. Instead, in terms of our state of the mindset, it creates the negative emotions like that causes the lack of mental wellness and the challenges that go with that. So we don't have control, but does that mean sit and do nothing? Does it mean that you have to implement what is called inaction? And I advocate, as a mindset advocate, that that is not what it means. On the contrary, it means that you do what you can to influence the outcome that you seek. Yes, so many things have happened and so many things are continuing to happen. Very painful, very difficult, putting us in very compromising positions in different aspects of our lives. All that is expected for you is to still keep your eye on the ball being the dream, the vision that you have about an aspect of your life. And take action that is going to influence closing the gap between where you are and where you would like to be, regardless of the external circumstances. And you may ask, what's going to happen if I don't do anything? Because I've been doing everything and I just don't get the results that I'm looking for. Instead, it appears as if I'm going deeper and deeper into mud. It's like something is pulling me down. This gumboot is getting deeper and deeper into this muddy area. Doing nothing, as I said, inaction is doing something. However, it means that whatever is happening in the external environment will be happening and impacting you by default. It's default because you have not focused on the design of that which you wish to see happening to you. So doing your part simply means that there is a big responsibility. Now, more than ever before, there is a collective responsibility of hope that is expected of us to observe. And you have your own piece, or you are your own little piece of this puzzle that has to come together and contribute towards the solution. You may not necessarily know what the solution is because what is available to you is only that little bit that you could see, that little beam of light that you see at the end of the tunnel. That is what you focus on. Now, when you see light right at the end of the tunnel and you are in the dark, you don't say, I'm going to sit here in the dark up until the light comes closer to me. You take action that's going to close the gap. In other words, you go closer to where the light is. And that is what I mean when I say, just do your part. You might not be able to change everything as it happens. However, you may be able to contribute a little bit towards creating the change that you would like to see. Welcome, everyone. Let me go to the comments field. Pindi Mkwanas says, good evening, Pindi, and welcome. Isaac Isaka says, good evening, my mindset advocate. Good evening, Isaac. Good evening and welcome. And welcome to everyone. We have more than 2 people, but we have only 2 comments. If you feel brave enough to greet, come through. As a matter of fact, if you feel brave enough to join me on the chat, let me know and I will send you the link, even though it's going to be the shortest link that we are, the shortest video that we're going to have today. I'm saying this with a heavy heart, and I am in no way trying to advocate that we are not going through a difficult time. However, I am saying to the extent that we are alive, we need to create for ourselves what I call a state of readiness. Now, a state of readiness is that which helps you to grow, so that when an opportunity that is different from the way things are at this stage becomes available, then you will be able to raise your hand and show whatever it is that you have developed yourself on, that you are ready for the next step or for the next phase of that aspect of your life. So when I say do your part, you may be asking yourself, what do I mean exactly? Love Tintin says we are here, and yes, this now feels like 2021. And of course it does, Love Tintin, because it is a mountain moving mindset Monday, and this is where we get to talk about anything and everything that is mindset related. What has happened throughout the difficult period that we have gone through even now may have led to us losing some of the things that are material. But we have also found that there are certain things that are added to us that are not serving us. From a spiritual being that you are, from the essence or the core of who you are, certain things usually happen in the external environment that would add a lack of belief in who you are, that might add negativity in terms of the emotions that you experience. Those emotions such as guilt, why did I choose to do things in a certain way? I wish I could have done, I could have taken different decisions. I wish I could have done things differently had I known that we would be at this phase right now. Or feeling ashamed. There are certain secrets that you cannot tell anyone, but you actually feel that you hate yourself as a result of certain things that have happened to you. And some are just the frustrations of trying harder and harder, working hard, trying to find a breakthrough in a certain aspect, and it is just not yielding the results at the time that you would like to see those results coming. Or it could be the anger as a result of some kind of an experience that has crossed your mind, an unfavorable experience where you feel that this I do not deserve, it shouldn't have happened. Another example of a negative emotion is fear. The fear of what is going to happen next, and what that is we usually refer to as an anxiety. Why is this happening? What is the worst thing that's going to happen after this? And it usually comes as a result of the previous experiences that you have gone through, whether those experiences are personal or vicarious. And in our situation as it stands right now, I bet I might not know you personally, but I can assure you, if you have forgotten, that there is some kind of a negativity that has crossed your path. How you will have handled it is a different story altogether, because that depends on the level of consciousness that you are operating at that stage, and how you work at your own self-development so that you find strength to deal with these kinds of things as they arise. We do not at any point act as if all is well when not all is well. We acknowledge the difficulties that we are going through, and having acknowledged them, we then say, what is my part? Do your part. What is the part that I can do to influence the change or the paradigm shift that I would like to introduce, so as to see that which is in my visual image of the outcome that I would like to really manifest? So that is what we do. And so how do you really do your part in the midst of all of this salad of issues that you are dealing with? Where do you even start? Love Tintin says, Eta Krotman, that Krotman is me. Eta Tintin. So there are certain things that have remained the same. There are certain things that should remain the same going forward as well. You keep those things. You might not know what those things are up until you analyze the current situation. And I usually say, shut up and give yourself time to watch the movie of your life. It's like you're taking a step back for a moment, and you are allowing to be present now, and let everything be on the outside. Watch it from a distance and stop being in control and trying to play the chess game all the time. Give yourself that moment so that you can see, where are these areas really that require of me to continue to the next phase of my life with them, depending on a certain aspect of your life that you have chosen to work at that moment. And having decided as to what it is that you're going to keep, you might ask, how do I know what I should keep? You would keep what you will keep on the basis that it's still going to serve you in your journey going forward. You're the only person that knows what's going to serve you. We cannot make a decision for you and say, this is what you get rid of and this is what you hold on to. This is the time when you're going to find answers to what you need to do from the unknown, and that is from the person or the source or the entity that resides inside of you. We have tried so many things in the last year to go to the external world and find answers, but we haven't found those answers all the time. So this is the time where we go internally, we go within and find the answers that are going to be uniquely yours, that apply to you and you alone, because you have a unique problem to solve, and therefore the unique problem that you have requires a unique solution, and the unique solution is going to have parts and parcels of those unique solutions requiring ideas. Those ideas and insights come from within you. Let me take some of the comments. I see Isaac says, Eta, my child, love there. There's love going there between the two of them. I love that. We still have some love going on in the year 2021. Acknowledge what has happened and ask, what is my part? Yes, Pindi, that is exactly what we do. We acknowledge. We don't rebuke and let it go away, because the moment you do that, it's going to come back in multitudes. It's going to come back with 7 times more forces to try and fight, because you have rebuked it. Because everything that we resist persists. It doesn't just fold its arms just like we do when we're saying we are defeated. No, it is going to come back. And that's why it is important that you observe it and say, oh, okay, I can see what you're doing. I know what is happening right here. And therefore, having acknowledged it, you then work at that to transmute it and get it out of the way, so that you can move over to the next step, to the next phase and the higher phase of your levels of consciousness at that stage. So Pindi says, pick what's going to serve you. You don't take everything to the next level of your life. There are certain things that served you in the past, and they have done their job. We don't throw them away like we used to in the last years. And I never used to understand why on the 31st of December, we would say, go away, and we would speak like that to a year that has allowed us to carry on up until that point. We need to understand the importance of gratitude. Because whatever it is that has been with us up until now may not necessarily be relevant for us going forward, but it has surely served us as having given us a stepping stone to be where we are. It may be a lesson that we should never do things the way that we have done them, but we would never have understood and appreciated that lesson had we not gone through that experience. So everything that we come across is there to serve us to a certain point. And so as we go forward, we continue with only that which is going to serve us as we go forward. Lerato says, love, 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 love to you too, coach. Isaac says self-inquiry, and exactly that. Self-inquiry is inquiry into self. We know so much about what is happening in the external environment. We're very good at analyzing other people's lives, other events, other extent, all of these things that are outside of us. And we are fearful at times, many times, of inquiring into our own selves. Strange enough, if we were to appreciate that, we would understand that that is exactly where the answers reside. The answers, your own answers, are residing in you. Dorisha says, beautiful message, Zoli. So you're an amazing woman. Thank you so much, my friend. It's so good to see you here. So we are holding the answers. We just need to ask the relevant questions and allow ourselves time and space to listen to the answers that are going to help us to get to the next phase of our lives. When you hear that sound, you must know that whenever I ask a question, Bixby on my phone here wants to answer, and yet Bixby doesn't have the answers. That is the example. I'm asking the wrong tool or the wrong system there. So I said, keep only those that are going to serve you going forward. And then You look at what you're going to stop. What is it, if you're going to keep only that which you are going to carry forward, that will be relevant for you, for your journey going forward? What is it that you're going to do away with or stop? What you're going to stop will be acknowledged, will be thanked. You express gratitude and you're saying this is where it ends for you. And let it go. Now, as you let that go, sometimes we get attached to things that have always been with us, even though they have already done their part. I say, and I always say this, when you go to a tertiary institution, you will be one of different groups of people. There are some people that are there only for a certificate. Some people are there for a workshop. It may be a 2 weeks workshop at Harvard University. That's it, you're done, you come back. Somebody is there for a 3 months program, mini certificate program. They are done, they are back. And then somebody else will be there for a 1 year certificate or a 1 year diploma. And then there will be those that are there for a 3 year qualification, be it a 3 year diploma, a degree of 4 years. Others will go for, if you're in South Africa, what is called an honors program, and others a master's degree, a doctorate, and so on. We have different phases. And what is going to allow an exit for us will be determined by what we wanted to achieve when we were going there. So allow those things that have reached their certificate level to graduate and go out of the system. They've done their part. Appreciate them as the graduates that have taught you something and have been part of your life at the time when it was relevant of them to be there. But as you decided to continue and do your master or your honors or your doctorate alone, you continue only with that which is going to serve you. That is why when you have what is called the major subjects, I don't know if it is still called like that. I've been out of school for a number of decades now. That's why you have what is called the major subjects. You drop everything else. You drop that which is no longer necessary, which was just accompanying your major subjects. And as you continue upwards, you take the major subjects. So let that which has accompanied you to this space, let it go. Thank it, because you needed it to complete the package. But now that you're going forward, you will acquire something new, something that you did not necessarily have in the past. And that is what is called start. Because whenever you stop something, the universe abhors any vacuum space. You need to replace what you have taken out with something new before the universe gives it to you by default. So you need to design it and choose, select carefully what it is that you would like to see. Hence, I was saying, you don't just say, I don't know what it is that I'm going to do, therefore I'm not going to do anything. I will not do my part, because a part will be done on your behalf. So inaction is action, except that it is action that is not directed, but it is action that perpetuates whatever is available to come to you. There are so many things that you can start which were not necessarily available to you in the past because the fertile ground wasn't there. There are certain things that you are likely to have had to lose. For example, you may have to change residence. You might have to let go of the home, the place that you call home, on the basis that you need to narrow the lifestyle that you are living. You might have to let go of your 4 wheels, on the basis that you actually want to allow the money that you have to go far, especially if you're somebody that is in a small business like I am. You might have to change the school that your children are going to. You might have to move cities or move towns. You might want to be closer to your loved ones on the basis that you just want to express more love and show it and be there for them. You might have to be closer to some other loved ones, even if they are the elderly, on the basis that you want to take good care of them. There are so many changes that are likely to happen, both in the physical as well as in the spiritual world. And I always advocate that it must be the spiritual world that is going to drive what you do in the physical world and not the other way around. And as all of those things are happening, before you start and partake onto anything, take a break once again and ask yourself, is this going to serve me in the journey that I'm taking going forward? How is this going to be relevant in the journey that I am taking, proceeding with an aspect of my life? There are 3 phases that I always advocate as a mindset advocate when you are looking at a transition of this nature. And these phases are actually, do yourself a favor, guys. If you don't have this book as yet, just do yourself a favor. It goes for 275 rands. Okay, 275 rands, and I'm going to post the link here to the website where you can get the book, because it's going to give you some kind of an idea as to what I'm talking about. I will post it at a later stage. So these 3 phases are: shut up. This is where you just reflect on what is happening, because the reflection allows you to open your eyes, let there be light, and see what is available to you. Having identified what is available to you, the next phase is called shape up. Shape up means do something. Take action, make things happen, because it is not going to happen until you make them happen, or until you make it happen. So shaping up is the work that you should be performing, that you should have been performing from last year already. And if you have not performed it, it's okay. Take it easy. There are just too many things that are making us frown, that are making us feel bad in a sense. Forgive yourself, because you cannot unring the bell. You can't go back to apply certain things in retrospect. You start now. You just accept the fact that up until now, you were not aware, that you didn't have this aha moment that you could do things like this. And now that the aha moment has become available to you, this is when you are going to begin doing things. One of the things that we do, and it just kills me, I don't know how many lives I have that I'm still alive, but it kills me when I talk to people, and I say this over and over again in training sessions, in workshops, in coaching, even when I have a conversation with friends and family, that when you say, I must do this, that means that there is an insight that has come to you to do something about it. Yes, we start by I must, we start with the conversations. We are having a conversation of this nature right now so that we can deliberate on these issues and bring them to the forefront of your mind. These are mindset related things that we would like to trigger certain things in you, but that is only the starting point. The most important thing is that when that effervescence is still like, the inner is like that, and you let it come down immediately after that, while you are still being carried by the inspiration that comes with this aha moment, this information, this insight that has become available to you, you do something about it. You take action. You will realize that sometimes you come across certain pieces of information over and over again. You will watch someone on Facebook or on YouTube, and you come across a topic that you would have heard 2 days before, yesterday, or you are going to hear it again at a later stage. It is a message to you that you need to start taking action and doing something about it. Gone are the days where we just say we have the intellectual knowledge of how things are supposed to be done, what needs to be done, and how it is supposed to be done, because that doesn't serve you. Informational power is informational power when it is put to use, and that use is directed so that it can then bring closer the vision that we have, the dream that we would like to realize, the outcomes that we would like to get at. So take action. So you shut up and shape up. When you shape up, you are looking at all of these pieces of the triggers usually come with ideas, and these ideas are tools that you can use before you get to the other side, when you show up as this new person that is relevant in the world after COVID. The questions might arise. We don't know when it's going to end. We don't know when these difficult days are going to come to an end, but we do know that they are going to come to an end. We had Spanish flu about 100 years ago. We are here, we are alive today, and that is an indication that the pandemic that was there didn't wipe all of us out. And we're going to do our part to protect ourselves to the extent that we can. But we're not going to hold on to the outcome and be control freaks. We will surrender and allow ourselves to be carried. So as you do your part, there's a lot of work that goes into it, because you want to ask yourself, what is my part? What is my part in the whole process? Because you understand that you are holding a piece of the puzzle that is unique. And if you play a different part, then we're not going to complete this puzzle. There is a lot of a huge requirement on you doing work on yourself. We've taken a break. Many people have taken a break during December days, during December holidays, because they've been working throughout the year. Maybe you work in your business or you work in somebody else's business, but do you think do you even deserve to take that break, to have taken that break, if you have not worked on yourself? Because you can't be tired of working on yourself when you have done nothing on yourself. And if you do not allow yourself to work on yourself, that says a lot about how much you love you. And I can assure you that if you don't have that kind of love and care for yourself, you will mean nothing to anyone or anything that you give attention to. That which you hold up to will mean nothing, because you will not be there to hold it up and put it at a pedestal. So it is an inside-out job. It begins with you, and that is why I am saying do the work. Be prepared to do the work. Let me take some of the comments that I hear. Isaac says, that book is worth, my friends. Get it. Thank you, Isaac. It is very important that you get it. It's entitled Beauty in a Shitty Life. You know that we've gone through a shitty life, and maybe we still are. Shitty means unpleasant. Just because before you get all religious on me, it means it means unpleasant. So beauty in a shitty life, looking through a clean lens. And what it means is that as you see everything as difficult and hard as it is, as unpleasant as it is, just double check the lens that you are looking at could also be dirty, which is going to make anything that you look at appear to be very dirty. So just change the lens that you look at, and you will see that the things that you look at begin to change. Yes, so I'm hearing this message for the umpteenth time since the first. And exactly what I'm talking about, the more you hear the message, the more you should ask yourself, why is this happening? The action and the transformation that takes place in our lives come as a result of at least one of two things, or a combination thereof. One of them is an event. An event that was unexpected, that is really impactful, might make you change the way we look at the world. For example, COVID is making us change the manner in which we're doing a lot of things. That's an event. Or it could be a mini event within this time that we are living in at the moment. But it could also be a repetition, where you get to hear over and over again, 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 1, 2, up until you accept and it becomes part of you. You internalize it, that 2 times 1, 2, that somebody can wake you up in the early hours of the morning and ask you what 2 times 1 is, and you would know that it's 2. That's repetition. But it could also be a combination of the two. How many times have you been told how old you are? You were told how many times that you are. I have a grandchild that is 2 years old, and he finds it difficult to do the 2 fingers. It's easy for him to do the 3 fingers. So he says he's 2. So all the time we keep having to tell him that you are 2, which is the 2 fingers and not the 3 fingers. We did that for a number of months up until he was able to do it. We didn't say, you've been told and you decided not to do it, we're giving up on you. So when that repetition happens, it is happening so that you can get the message. Sometimes it has to be said in a certain way so that it can make its way through to your mind. You would find yourself saying, I've heard this a long time. from many different sources, but no one has ever said it quite the way that you say it. And that's the time when you have to take action, because during that time, even if there were 8,000 people in the theater that the speaker was addressing at that moment, like I am addressing a lot of people at this stage, but the message is actually for you. There may be 100 of you that are watching the video at the moment and that are going to watch it at a later stage, but I am speaking to you. There is a reason that you found yourself passing by or you found yourself watching. And this message is meant for you to do something about it, as opposed to just getting information or being entertained and leaving it at that. The breakthrough on the other side might be lying in you taking action as a result of what we are introducing to you this afternoon. And I'm saying what we are introducing to you because it's not a monologue. I keep reading the comments and I keep reading the energy as well. Some of the things I'm not going to say, but I can interact with you at a spiritual level. I'm able to get to you at times, connect with you and hear what is going through your mind. Hence, sometimes you would find that I say something that you have written even before I have seen it, or you would say exactly what I have you would say something that I had said, which you were typing at the time as I was saying it. Yes, so I'm hearing this message for the umpteenth time. That's Isaac. Isaac says again, may you come to a realization that all parts of your work for all parts of you work for a common good as you discover unity inside of you. Zoliswa Chesha from her book Beauty in a Shitty Life. I thought that sounded familiar. Can I take credit for that? Thank you so much, Isaac. The unity that is inside of you is really going to allow you to understand that there is no such a thing as a part of me says I must do it and a part of me says I must not do it. Because when you bring these parts together, you are able to do what is called extrapolate, and you come up with the meaning that comes from both of these parts, which is a common meaning. What is it that is being said by these different parts, but it's communicating to you for your common good? That book made me start the self-inquiry process. It's about time, and let us continue with that. For as long as we're alive, we continue asking ourselves the questions as to what the heck is this life all about? What is life? And why am I living this life? What is the part that I need to do? What role do I need to play here? Because it cannot be that I was just here, I was born so that I can die, and there is nothing in between. The dance between the day that I was born and the day that I died should be very exciting enough that when they read my obituary, they would be like, well, here lies a man or here lies a woman. And that is what we are here for. Somebody who comes into this world in 300 years' time must be able to identify that there is something that was created as a change, and you were part of that change because you held the piece of the puzzle to the future that we would like to create for our great-grandchildren. Love Tintin says, Isaac, you are motivating me to start tonight. It's about time, Tintin. You don't have to feel bad about the fact that you haven't started. You have the book, that's a good start. But up until now, you did not realize that the time had come. You are going to be starting tonight. Yes, love, it's worth, I couldn't put it down. I read it overnight. It's worth it. Thank you so much. So when you show up, you are never going to be the same again. You are never, ever going to be the same again, because when you plant a seed onto the soil and you allow it to grow by way to germinate, by way of covering it with the soil, maybe adding a fertilizer and watering it, it's never going to come out the same as it was when you put in. So when you shut up and you look at the seeds that you have, and the shaping up phase is the equivalent of what happens under the ground, under the soil, underneath the soil, it's not going to be the same. The produce or the harvest is different from the seed. Guys, lessons are everywhere. Look around you. Look around. If you have a car and you're a guy, Isaac, that loves to go and do some relaxation at a car wash, the next time you go, just observe it. Observe how dirty that car was when you were going there. And you realize that the fact that that car is dirty doesn't take away from the fact that it is the lovely car that you love. It's a beautiful car that means so much to you. And when it goes into that car wash and it has the foamy water, and then it has the rinsing clean water, then they even polish, they first wipe it dry, then you begin to see the beauty again. They even polish it to a certain extent, then that glow comes up. When it shows up on the other side, you driving out of the car wash, you even feel different. There is more confidence in you that you are driving this car because it is renewed. Allow yourself to be renewed in different aspects of your life. But you are not just going to sleep and wake up having been renewed without an effort on your side. Because you know where the clash happens, where the shipwreck happens. It is when we know what needs to be done and we fail to take action on it. And that also causes mental illnesses in us, lack of mental wellness, because we then feel ashamed on the basis that, I had this knowledge and I did not do anything about it, or I feel guilty that I should have done this, or I should not have done this, or I feel frustrated that why me? I'm stupid. I always do this. You give yourselves labels that you would never give to the person that you love the most. Or you would feel angry. You're just angry at yourself and you're projecting the anger at those that are closest to you as a result of having failed to take action and having missed out on opportunities that would have become available to you. So when you do this part of shaping up, which is the taking of the action, it doesn't matter what the outcome is on the other side, because the outcome that will come on the other side is determined by the forces that are under that soil of where you have plowed your seed. Yours is to ensure that you plow that seed and you water it and fertilize it consistently. Even when you don't see any difference, even when you don't see a change, because you are not going to see a change whilst all the process of transformation underneath the soil is happening, because it is underneath the soil. You allow the invisible power that is working even under the soil where you are unable to see. You allow and have put your trust in that invisible power, that in the fullness of time, things will be different when they show up on the other side. But you do not fold your arms, fold your hands, and stand up until you have done it all. It's only when you have done it all that you then just stand and wait for the manifestation of whatever it is that you were hoping for. So remember to do your part. We continue 2021 just like we did in the year 2020. What's the significance? It's just a year. It is a season. But we know that this too shall pass. And when it passes, who would you have become? How are you going to show up on the other side of all of this? Do your part. Isaac says, chapter 2 of the book dealing with inner conflict, shut up. Yes, that's true. Shut up, shape up, and show up. And just remember that it doesn't matter what it is that you are going through at the moment. It's all gonna go past. This, when it comes to you taking responsibility, taking care of that which you want to see, is really only the beginning. It is the part where you just get to shut up. But after this, just like Love Tintin has said, the moment you start shaping up, that is when you know that you will never be the same again. This is only the beginning. The best is yet to come. Have a good evening.